How much do you love the depth and the different scorers you have and playmakers on this group?
You know, me and GP was just talking about that, how deep this team really is. And, you know, we don't have certain guys back yet or in full motion of what they could and will be doing. It's a good thing for us, and it's a scary thing for everybody else.
Breaking news. There's been reports of an alien invasion taking place at the Chase Center in San Francisco. The facility is in lockdown. Authorities have swarmed the building and both... Wait.
Stockton and steals. Here's Podziemski! Blocked him at the rim!
False alarm. Apparently the lockdown was the Golden State Warriors putting the LA Clippers into the Golden State Penitentiary. After watching the game and seeing the final score at 3 a.m., I had to go check my mail. My neighbor was actually shocked. Swish, why are you checking your mail at 3 a.m.? Why am I checking my mail at 3 a.m.? Because the postman delivered. Quinten Post, who was part of the ACC all-defensive team back when he played for Boston College, held a checkpoint in the paint, obliterating any offense the Clippers could generate down low. He absolutely smothered this team as they only managed 79 points at the final buzzer. To add insult to injury, there was a total of only 10 assists for the entire Clippers team. For the people asking, where's Waldo? My question to you is, where's James? The Clippers had the Warriors dead to rights on a back-to-back, only to have theirs blown out by a team that only scored 98 points. After winning the last 7 in a row, the Clippers finally faced a fully healthy and clicking Warriors team that was determined to test their mettle against one of the best teams in the league. How did this even happen? Well, you're about to find out. Now get ready. You're about to get swift. After getting selected with the 52nd overall pick, hopes were high that the Warriors would be able to utilize the skill set of a floor-spacing 7-foot big man. Ever since then, Quinten Post has answered that call. There was only one problem. At the other end of the floor, his defensive skills didn't really translate as he was abused in the paint by more experienced NBA veterans. His shine from the three-point line with 41% shooting from distance was all he could really offer the team, but it was enough to keep him on the floor to exploit matchups. If he was ever able to become a factor defensively, this would be a game changer for the Warriors. Despite him being 24 years old, he's still only in the beginning of his sophomore season, so there's a lot to learn. What the Warriors did during the offseason, however, might be paying dividends as Post came out against the Clippers, and between him, Draymond Green, and Jonathan Kuminga broke their entire offense. What did the Warriors do? They signed Al Horford, a player in the mold that they would love for QP. Horford's impact as a defender is undeniable as he switches from 1 to 5, guarding on the perimeter as well as protecting the rim. This isn't an easy skill to acquire and requires a lot of experience knowing where to be at which point during each play. His experience and mentorship of Post is becoming quite obvious in the same way Butler's mentorship of Kuminga is becoming obvious. How this manifested in the game against the Clippers was mind-blowing. The Golden State Warriors' entire defensive scheme is an onslaught of intense and relentless pursuit and coverage.
The number one thing we've been trying to hammer home is that our offense can help our defense, and I thought that happened tonight. And
this team does not give up on any play. There are 11 steals, 3 of which belong to Draymond Green, is a testament to this defensive approach. The combination of the unrelenting point-of-attack defense by Kuminga, free-roaming Ward and Draymond Green, with the 7-foot postman all but closed off the access to the Warriors' basket. If you really want perspective on how bad this was, Jimmy Butler without free throws had more points than James Harden with free throws. He didn't even get his second shot off until we got to the 5-minute mark of the first quarter, a shot that was blocked by Quinten Post. So you ask yourself, you have a player like James Harden on the floor for 7 minutes and he's only had 2 shot attempts. Surely he's been feeding his teammates. I wouldn't blame you for thinking that, but you'd also be wrong. It wasn't until about 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter that James Harden would record his first assist of the game. Nothing he did worked. On a closeout by Post, Harden threw up a prayer, kicked like a donkey, and hoped the ref would grant him 3 wishes. Steve Kerr challenged the obvious grifting tactic and overturned the call, showing that the only play Harden made on that possession was himself. Post contested a total of 13 shots, more than double anyone else on the team. The only one who came close was Jonathan Kuminga with 6. This, along with 2 deflections and 3 screen assists, are some of the additional stats that don't really go into the box score statistics. Just his defense alone would warrant him being that guy for the Warriors, but clearly it wasn't enough for Post, who decided to bring his strap. This was completely unfair. His floor stretching takes away Zubac's only defensive advantage, so he either gets wide open threes or Zoo gets dragged out to the perimeter and leaves the rim wide open for a Jonathan Kuminga aerial assault. On multiple accounts, Zubac is caught looking for his man at the three-point line, but there's nothing he's capable of doing without a secondary big man on the floor. A 6'8" Nick Bottom is not stopping the most prolific paint prodigy on the Warriors roster. Quinten Post, with his 4 triples, finished with 12 points and 8 rebounds to go along with a spectacular defensive performance, resulting in a plus 34 net rating in 24 minutes, the highest on the team. This led to a declaration by Steve Kerr. What could Steve Kerr possibly say after such a performance?
I think this is going to be a pattern for us. I really want to just bring Al off the bench. If he's going to be 20 minutes, I'd rather have him come off the bench. So we'll probably go back and forth between Quinten and BP, for now, just depending on what the center matchup looks like.
He's found the solution to the 5th spot on the roster. Now, 2 videos ago, I stated that the permanent starters included Curry, Jimmy, Kuminga, and Draymond. This was actually confirmed by Steve Kerr just recently. I was hoping Moses Moody would join that group, but after Kerr's revelation, I realized I was right about something I was hoping to not be right about. That would be Pods being the Warriors' permanent starting shooting guard. Somewhat. The 5th spot. That spot will be in rotation between Pods and Post, and it will be matchup dependent. That means Moses Moody is out as the starting shooting guard. Now, while I think such a spot is best for Pods' own individual growth as a player, one who plays better with better teammates, but whose skill tends to fall off with less talented players surrounding him, translate that to a player that isn't really able to lead a team, it robs the team of a strong defensive lineup that features both JK and Moody at the 2 and 3. On the bright side, if the Warriors can get this type of performance from Quinten Post consistently, this tips the scale heavily for Golden State as favorites. And here's why. This should have been obvious when the Warriors went to their second lineup after resting Curry. They had a lineup of Pods, Moody, GP2, Jimmy, and Horford. Now replace GP2 in that lineup with Will Richard, and this second unit is bonkers. Still a great unit defensively, great facilitating, and that floor spacing is still at an elite level. We actually saw this unit destroy the Clippers down the stretch while JK and Curry were out resting. While it isn't 2 completely different lineups, it's a single player from the starting lineup playing in that second unit after an early substitution. For an opposing team, this means there is no rest. There is no period where you get to take your star player out and think things are going to be sweet. This team, low-key, might break a record or 2 this year. Somehow, these 4 players, Steph, Dre, Jimmy, and Al, continue to play at a high level. Then these next 4 young players, Kuminga, Post, Moody, and Pods, have all stepped their game up to another level. Pods obviously still needs to show consistency, but let's assume what he did these last 2 games keeps up. That's 8 players you can't keep out of the rotation. Bear in mind, the Warriors are still without DeAnthony Melton and Seth Curry. Is it clicking yet? Then we get to Will Richard and Buddy Hield, players that on any given night can give you a boost either through Buddy Hield's shooting or Richard's tenacity on defense. Those are 12 rotation players that can get the Warriors through the grueling 82-game Western Conference and even the playoffs. Not only do we have a team full of smart players and guys that are prolific scorers in the paint as well as outside on the perimeter, these guys are lockdown defenders at the other end. Their ability to blow out the best shooting team on the season without even scoring 100 points to do it screams 2017-2018 dominance. If that doesn't move you, you might want to get your pulse checked. Let me know what you think of the 2 squads I just mentioned above, as well as Steve Kerr's decision to rotate Pods and Post. What about Moody permanently coming off the bench? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Till next time, swish.